So what I'm going to be doing, this is going to be a series of videos. Each one is going to be around a different aspect of the dice making process. So if you need to know any specific thing in particular, it's going to be very easy to find. So you can just check what you need and then move on. So what I'm going to do in this introductory video is just go over the tools that we have and then the very basic process of making a dice. So what I'm going to do first is we're just going to go over all of the materials that we're going to use today. So I use J-Diction High Gloss Ultraviolet Resin. You can obviously use different brands. I've just done some research before starting. This seemed like the best one. And we also have an ultraviolet flashlight. You can get like a light bulb or a bigger light. They have like special chambers and stuff like that. This flashlight works perfectly fine for the most part. Also use a lot of toothpicks. There's a little measuring cup that came with the dice mold. I don't use that too often. Most importantly is going to be the dice mold. I have one curing in there right now. But yeah, you can see there's a set of 7 dice. And then we also have a little heater. That's very important because the resin needs to be warm and able to set. So yeah, that's just going to help with letting the resin set correctly. We also have all of our resin dyes here as well. It is this brand. It's pretty good. It does set pretty nicely. The dyes are very colorful, so I would recommend that, but obviously you can do whatever you want. And then after the dice is set, we also have the stuff for painting on the numbers, so we're going to use like acrylic paints like I have up here, and also alcohol prep pads. Yeah, so that's about it for materials. Alright, so the very basic process of making a dice. So what we have is the mold right here. This is going to be the basis for everything, obviously. So what we're going to do first and foremost is just leave it to set up against a little heater. So it has to be warm in order for it to work. So the mold has to be warmed up ahead of time, and the resin has to be molded while it's setting as well. So we're just going to prop it up against here and then go about mixing our dice, mixing the resin, adding what colors we want, adding what additives we want, and then doing that sort of thing. So once this has been warmed up, we're going to just move it back over to our platform. I like to work inside of this case here because it protects my table from getting covered in resin, which is not a great thing. So what we do then is fill up the mold, fill it up a little bit over the line so that it has like a bubble on top, because you want it to be overfilled, not underfilled. Then we add what stuff we want to it, whether it's color. We're going to add only 1 drop at a time because this color is very concentrated, very strong. Or if you want to add other things to it, then maybe you don't put all the resin in ahead of time and then just put it in after you add the item as well. That's going to get into more specifics. What I'm doing is just a basic overview now. So once the mold has been filled, we're going to put the lid on, secure it nicely, nicer than that, and then we're going to have our little heater right in front of the mold so that it's nice and warm throughout. Then we have our ultraviolet flashlight. We're going to put on and then leave it there for 7 to 8 minutes for it to set, sometimes longer than that if that's necessary. So once the dice has been set and hardened, you can check that by just kind of pressing it through the mold a little bit to make sure that it's solid. So after it's been done, we can take the dice out of the mold, leave it to set for about 5 minutes within the mold first before removing it, just to make sure that it is absolutely set up. So then we can remove it from the mold, leave it to set up for another couple minutes, and then what we're going to do is take some acrylic paint and rub it over the sides of the dice just to get into all of the numbers, wipe off the excess with a tissue, and then once that has been dried for about another 5 minutes, we're going to take an alcohol prep pad and just wipe it off so that all the sides become clear. So this has been just the introductory video to the process. I'm going to have a full playlist with every different part of the dice making process linked and explained in individual components. Like I'm going to have a complete video about curing dice, about how to color them, about how to put numbers on, and I'm also going to have individual videos about how to make specific kinds of dice as well. So that's all stuff to look forward to. It is going to be involved in a single playlist and just organized in order.